Welcome back, everyone, to another video. It is Coder, and today, in this sad beginning of the week, we are going to be talking about a very important person in music. I'm sure you already know who I'm talking about. The OG Nipsey Hussle has been murdered in cold blood on Sunday, and this is just ridiculous, honestly. I'm going to keep it 100. I never really listened to his music. I knew who he was because I've seen him on a couple of features, and I always knew that he played a pretty big part of music in the background, but I never really actually was a huge fan of his music. Excuse the gay Honda Civic in the background. Anyways, it's a true shame to see that much talent to be murdered for no reason. And now here cop sirens. Isn't that just a wonderful time to start a video? Anyways. it really breaks my heart, because, like I said, I knew who he was through what other West Coast rappers like YG, The Game, and such. And like I said before, again, I knew he was a big part in behind the scenes, but I never was really a huge fan of his music because I never really listened to his music before. I know he has a whole bunch of mixtapes, lots, I think over a dozen, and he has an album that was actually nominated for a Grammy, I believe is what it was. And that's what today's video is about. This is the music review of Victory Lap. Like I said before, I did not even listen to this until today. Today is my very first time ever hearing just Nipsey Hussle on a song, right? First time I heard of him was years ago on a YG song, and I know he was really close to The Game as well because they are both West Coast artists. They talk a lot about Crenshaw and their music, which is a place in LA. A lot of the gangster rap and such know about these places. But anyways, with Victory Lap topping number 4 on the Billboard Top 200 in the US and number 3 in the top hip-hop albums in 2018. That is just a huge accomplishment. And like I said, this album was nominated for a Grammy, and I guarantee that he's gonna definitely win that because he definitely deserves with how good this album was, honestly. I mean, it's just, there's so much talent, and I'm kind of surprised when I heard it for the first time earlier today. I did listen through it a couple times to really get, absorb it, because I wanted to get this review out as soon as possible. I do have a Billie Eilish review coming out here in the next day or so stay tuned for that. I've been holding back on doing that because I like to, I guess, soak up the entire album. I really want to get all of it. I want to take it all in. And you can't just listen, we can't just do that listening to it just once. At least most of the time, unless it's, not a lot going on. But anyways, he peaked at a lot of other chart all across the world, and with only 2 singles off of this, I'm not going to name them because they're not very nice words. Words that I can't say because I'm white, but anyways. One of the best songs on this whole entire album, though, I would definitely say, well, really, they're all great. Normally what I do when I do these reviews is I go through and I write down notes about every single song individually, and I talk about each song individually like that. But I think with this review, I'm just going to talk about it as a collective whole, because as a collective whole, it really is just pure talent, and it amazes me that he only ever made one album. If you go back through and you look at his records, the majority of them are mixtapes, except for this last one that he did. Maybe he didn't really want to do major albums. I guess it's kind of understandable with just where he was in the music world and what he did. Now this album is a collective of a whole bunch of amazing artists. CeeLo Green was on it, YG was on it, Puff Daddy, Nipsey Hussle, obviously. Just so many people, man. Kendrick Lamar, even. It's amazing, dude. It makes me so mad that I never really knew who he was. A lot of great producers on here as well. He even produced some of it. Murder Beats is a great producer. He worked on this as well. Mike and Keys, was also another producer on here, and a couple other ones as well. It's just, it makes me mad because I never knew who he was deeply. Like I said, I knew who he was before, but what he was really doing, man, he was doing so much for his own community. And for someone to just take that away for nothing, it blows my mind. I know people do some dumb things. I understand that. But why? Okay, so the day that I'm recording this is the 2nd of April. So that they believe to have found his killer. His name is Eric something. I don't really want to know the douchebag's name. Apparently this was someone that Nipsey knew. And what Nipsey was aiming for with, you know, just the whole movement he was doing, it was to help people like Eric. You know, it's to help them get off the streets and get a real job and, you know, make real money. He talks about in one of the very first songs that dirty money is bad money. It's not good. You don't want that, man. Because, I mean, if you think about it, it's the truth. You know, why do you want a bunch of bad money? Why not just go out there, work hard, and make a true, honest living? What's wrong with that? Nothing. But you have people out here that glorify dirty money, blood money, all this bad junk. And that is just, for the most part, music, but at the same time, there's kids out here listening to this stuff, and sometimes they just don't know the difference. Or sometimes maybe that's all they you know, grew up around, like Nipsey and Eric did. You know, Nipsey was part of the Crips, Rolling 60s, I believe was what it was. One of the largest in LA. And he went back to his own hometown, which a lot of rappers don't do, and made it better. He was buying property. He was fixing up the playgrounds. He had stores, you know, opening. He was doing so much for his own community, and someone that got jealous of him murdered him. I think me just ranting about how good of a person he was instead of, but I mean, just like a person, and that's how his music is. He reminds me a lot about X, because even though X did make a couple mistakes prior to or in the beginnings of him making music, in his heart, X was a good man. And I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're a female watching this and saying he was, you know, sexist or anything like that. I don't care. This is my video, so I'm gonna put my own opinion in this. And I'm sorry if you don't like that. And honestly, this is facts, man. I mean, yes, like I said, X did have trouble times, but he was trying to turn his life around. He was. Anyone that's not hard-headed can obviously see that. Obviously. And he was trying to do good in the community. He was trying to make a good, positive movement. And he was murdered for nothing. I'm sure you've heard Nipsey was actually shot 6 times, 5 in the body and 1 in the head. And 2 other people were also injured in the shooting. Wow. Honestly, I never really thought I'd do a video on Nipsey Hussle. Honestly. But anyways, so Victory Lap did release on February 16th, 2018. Mainly by Interscope Records. It was pretty enjoyable to listen to. I really did enjoy the music off it. It was West Coast hip hop, obviously, and gangster rap. Is that an ambulance now? Jeez, what is going on? I'm so sorry. But anyways, and it's funny because when you're listening to it, you get a feel of G-Funk, which is really cool because G-Funk is a really very unique genre in music. Oh, there they go. Alrighty. We done now? Alright, hopefully. But yeah, G-Funk is such an amazing type of music. I love it. I love back in Nate Dogg and the Dog Pound and all them when they were doing G-Funk, you know, really hardcore. It's such fun music to listen to. I mean, it's like gangster rap, but like want to dance to or something. I don't know. It's very unique. It's very different, and it's very enjoyable to listen to. So honestly, what else do I have to say about this album? Well, it's a little over an hour long and has 16 songs on it. And every single one of these songs is a true work of art by a leader, an OG, and a true artist, and a real man. That's what Nipsey Hussle was, and that's the kind of legacy that he's going to leave behind. A father as well, to a son and a daughter. It's a sad week for rap music and the whole rap community as a whole. It seems like every single year we get someone major taken away from us, and and people that don't really understand are gonna say, "Well, don't get involved in gang life." Well, I mean, if he was, because that's all he knew, and got out of it, and he's trying to better his community, what do you got to say about that then? You don't know the struggles he went through. You don't know if that's all he had or not. He was trying to better himself, and they still took him out. That was this last year, 2018. Lost Mac Miller last year as well. I wasn't a huge fan of Mac Miller's music, but I really liked him as a person. He was a very chill and relaxed guy. It's a shame. Now, granted, I was not murdered. That was an overdose, but still. Year before that, Gus was taken from us. Gus is one of my favorite artists of all time. Hands down. I know we can sit here and say, well, these need to stop. But the truth is, if we're gonna be realistic here and look inside of reality, they won't stop. It's just how life is, and it is sad. It's very sad. But there's always a reason to smile, as I always say. And a reason that Nipsey Hussle gave us to smile. And actually, matter of fact, before we continue, I'm just going to throw this out there. And since I really started to look into who he was, and watching his interviews, listening to more of his music, Nipsey Hussle is now a person that I look up to. This man's a role model. And a damn good one at that. Excuse my English. Or French, whatever. But what he left behind for us to smile about was a true work of art and a masterpiece of an album. This is one of those albums where I'd call it a documentary. Not because it rips off the game's ideas or anything like that, but just because it's one of those albums where you can just sit down. Yeah, each song's good individually, but if you're going to listen to anything off this album, you're going to want to listen to the whole entire thing together. All at once. One pull through. And that, and along with all the amazing other things that he was doing, is a legacy that Nipsey Hussle left for us on Sunday. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I have a Billie Eilish music review coming out Friday or Thursday, whenever I get around time to doing it. And then I got another review after that going up on Monday. I'll leave that one a surprise. But yeah, it's been Red. Stay safe, and I'm out.